Hades is a roguelike developed by Supergiant Games. The story follows the son of Hades, Zagreus, and his aspirations of leaving Guatemala to see the outside world, against the wishes of his father. He plans to do this by leaving a trail of destruction all the way to the exit. Not exactly the best plan, but it do be like that sometimes. In your room, you'll see a mirror, and you can use it to give yourself a bunch of buffs. I'ma be real with you, only 3 of these are useful. The rest only provide the illusion of potential success. Now simply arm yourself with a random assortment of weapons right outside your bedroom window, and you'll be on your way to face hordes of enemies. These weapons are the Stygian Blade, the basic solid weapon of the game. The Shield of Chaos, which is infinitely better for offense than defense and is my go-to, no skill required weapon. Eternal Spear, which provides excellent crowd control. Heart-Seeking Bow, use if you like whiffing all your important shots. Adamant Rail, bringing America to Greece. And the Twin Fists, don't use these. Heading out may seem daunting. Worry not, Zagreus is not alone. He has the loving guidance of his mother Nyx, who has contacted your Hispanic extended family to your aid. And what do they provide? A green card? A work visa? A ladder? No, they provide boons. Boons are buffs, or in Demeter's case, debuffs, to augment your weapons to do some actual damage. Different gods provide different types of effects. Generally, Zeus adds lightning damage, Ares adds blade rift damage and doom, Chaos adds a gambling addiction to your real life inventory, Dionysus adds poison damage, Artemis improves your criticals, Hermes buffs your speed, Poseidon gives you that 2011 Japan experience, Demeter provides you the opportunity to lose, and Athena's for cowards. Boons aren't available to you. You're offered other items, such as Centaur Hearts, which increase your maximum health, Charon's Obol, to buy stuff in Charon's store, Chthonic Keys, to unlock better weapons and reset your mirror, Daedalus Hammers, to add unique moves and buffs to your weapons, and other various items. You also have the opportunity to bring along companions with you after completing certain dialogue trees. But in reality, I'm not reading all that. As you interact with more and more characters, you gain keepsakes. Keepsakes range from mundane to game-changing, so I recommend you choose wisely. Now with that all out of the way, we can start talking about the combat. All weapons have the same basic moves: attack, dash strike, special, and cast. Attacks, dash strikes, and specials will be your workhorses for majority of your builds. While for the 7 people who enjoy cast builds, you can pray to the RNG gods that you get a good boon. It's important that you understand the methods of dealing damage in this game because that's all you can do besides dashing. There is no such thing as playing defensively in Hades. You need to consistently do damage. So much so that I recommend that you prioritize going for boons rather than Centaur Hearts until you're lower than 30% health, because you don't need to tank damage from enemies that are already dead. The only thing in Hades that rivals damage in sheer utility is dashing. Just like your attacks, dashing can be augmented with boons. From lightning strikes to invulnerability, these abilities can be instrumental in saving your runs. Dashes can also be used in tandem with spatial awareness to use the arena to your advantage. You can lead enemies into traps for extra damage, or you can dash to the last puddle of prime after being poisoned for the 69th time by your average Ontario rat. Also, there's fishing in the game. I don't really do it because the little glowing thing in the water that you're supposed to like notice is surprisingly hard to see when you're deep in the game. Tartarus. It's the first zone straight out of your room so you can get a feel of the combat. To summarize Tartarus's enemies: Wretched Thug, a punching bag that may attempt to fight back. Wretched Witch shoots a projectile that somehow manages to have future sight and intercept you mid-dash. Wretched Lout, 300-year wind-up to somehow miss you by 3 continents. Wretched Pest, turning the battlefield into Donetsk. Numbskull, what I need right now. Skullomat, spawns what I need right now. Ringer, brings up uncomfortable memories about my childhood. Brimstone, what we think DARPA should have developed after billions of dollars in funding. At the halfway mark, one of 3 mini-bosses may spawn. Inferno Bomber, Blood thinks this is Syria. Wretched Sneak, teleporting pest. Doomstone, jumps you with its kids. Semi-Tangent, as substitute for mini-bosses, you may encounter rooms with 2 god boons. You pick one god and get swirled by the other, so pick the more dangerous one. Semi-Tangent over. Tartarus isn't all enemies. You also have a chance to meet Sisyphus, who is way more cheery than his lore would make you think. Charon, who is on that grind set and sells you items to keep up your terrorism. At the end of Tartarus, you face Megara, your angsty love interest, and as the story progresses, you also face her more violent sister, Alecto, and her other not-all-there sister, Tisiphone. Little do these women know, Zagreus likes his violence domestic. Asphodel, welcome to Mexico. Hell, I hope you like dashing into lava, because that's gonna happen a lot. I really like this place because the devs put all the enemies that would be minor inconveniences into one place, upgrading them from minor inconveniences to major inconveniences. Bloodless delays attacks like it's Dark Souls. Bone Racker, you know that one enemy in Elden Ring that one-shots you with its triple shot crossbow? Yeah, mix that with the Bloodless and you have the Bone Racker. Burn Flinger, launches javelin missiles. Gorgon shoots projectiles with Medusa effects so you can get your shit pushed in more effectively by other enemies. Skullcrusher emulates the average Chinese construction zone experience. Slam Dancer, they learn the art of dunking on you with a grenade in your hands. Wavemaker, make a treacherous battlefield even more treacherous, really making you feel like a Bosnian. Draken, cowardice incarnate. Spreader, incapable of actually hitting their target. Just like Tartarus, Asphodel has mini-bosses. Voidstone makes enemies around it invulnerable. Mega Gargon and Skullcrusher work together to effectively get nothing done. And 5 spreaders, because why not? This place has one thing going for it, and it's the NPC Eurydice. She provides buffs, and I really like her singing. Boss of this place is a snake. Yeah, I don't know either, man. There's probably a reason for this somewhere in the lore, but it's easy if I just get good at something. Elysium. Heaven. No, it's actually just as dangerous as the previous levels. In fact, it's worse because of the bunch of enemies can just come back when you're not paying attention. Exalted Brightsword. Melee focused until he's not, he can also resurrect. Exalted Great Shield. Melee focused until he's not, he can also resurrect. Long Spear. Actually melee focused until he leaps 4 kilometers to land on your exact GPS coordinates. He can also resurrect. Exalted Strongbow. There is no counter to them. Kill them before they kill you. Flame Wheel. Average Jihad. Memian Chariot. Kinda like the Loud but with good tracking. Soul Catcher. Cluster Bombs. I thought these were banned. Splitter shoots 1 big projectile that shoots out smaller projectiles. One of them has to hit, right? Mini bosses in Elysium are Soul Catcher, but with spawning enemies. Asterius, who's actually a good boss fight, except that one homie attack that for the life of me I cannot avoid intentionally. Characters you meet here are Thanatos, who's your other love interest. Quick Tangent. Supergiant Games. I have no problems being a homosexual. I do it behind Wendy's every day to pay off those crisp student loan debts. But I would like to be eased into gay decisions. In no world is comfort him synonymous with fuck him. Tangent over. Patroclus, a very depressed boy who insists on telling me about his life through riddles. I'd hate him if he didn't give the best buff in the game. The boss of this place, or rather the bosses of this place, are Theseus and Asterius, honorably jumping you in front of a crowd. The fight is interesting because Theseus can actually call upon the gods for a buff. Also, side note, when you up the difficulty, Theseus gets a gun chariot. Where did he get that? Temple of Styx. Truly highlighting the terrible faults in Canadian bureaucracy. Going from room to room fighting poisonous creatures and massive rats in hope of finding your ticket out of here. Which in this case is a bag of food to give to your dog Cerberus, who's guarding the exit. Once you do this, you're free. You're almost free. All you have to do is fight your father? Oh yeah, I never explained the story. This is an ultra summarized and wrong version of events. Hades, your father, got the short end of the stick and was assigned to hell. Obviously that made him a bit grumpy, so his brother Zeus abducted a woman / god named Persephone, your actual mother, and she becomes Hades' wife. Your dad was actually quite a charming man under the circumstances. And then they fell in love, commissioned some inflation art, and then got pregnant. Believing you were stillborn, she fled Hades, and to keep everyone safe from the fallout of her mother finding out what happened, Hades decides to prevent you from seeing your mother. Or something like that, I really didn't pay attention. Now that you know that, you simply have to defeat your father, go to Canada, talk to your mom, die because your soul is tied to hell. Real bummer actually. You return to her again and again and again, slowly piecing together what happened, and eventually convince her to return and get a very heartwarming cutscene. That makes me realize maybe 10-year-old me didn't try hard enough to fix the divorce. And I know what you're wondering. The end? No, you still have to reconnect with your family. It's a bunch of stuff I glossed over, so I recommend playing the game and learning about the other gods / characters I didn't mention, like the 3 couples you have to fix, and you might actually beat the game before the sequel comes out. This is the part of the video where I start rambling about hidden meanings in philosophy. But what can I even talk about? Themes of suffering again and again? There's already a character in this game whose entire grift is that, and he's the least depressed. They got blood living in absolute squalor and destitution, and he still manages to be more cheerful than the guy keeping him there. What did I learn from Hades? Delusion is the ultimate weapon forged against my enemies. Now if you excuse me, I'll be working on my next video, which will be made whenever I muster up the strength to live.
At my wedding I won't wear a gown, yeah, I would rather wear Lady Gaga.
One more time.